Hi guys, welcome to my coffee show. My name is Jack and today I have an interesting video for you, slightly funny as well. Today we're going to compare two completely different grinders. We're going to play with 1Zpresso K Ultra and we will put it against, yes, electric grinder from Kafatek MC5. Both conical grinders, but that's probably where the similarities ends. So what we're going to do today? Well, I will talk about those differences. Then we're going to pull a shot of espresso from each. Then we're going to do a pour over. And by the end I will share with you my thoughts. If K Ultra is as capable as MC5, possibly just by watching this video, I saved you thousands of dollars. So if you're as excited as myself, definitely click like, sit tight and enjoy. K Ultra, great grinder from Taiwan, made by 1Zpresso, made mostly out of aluminium and some steel as well. It has that wooden knob. It's not light for hand grinder, but weighs around 700 grams. And the one interesting thing about this grinder versus the previous generation's K Max is that you have that collapsible handle. It takes a little bit less space, maybe a little bit more stable when you put it on the countertop. What I really like about this grinder is that you have the settings outside, so you rotate the ring on top, there is a white dot and you can see exactly where you are. This is a stepped grinder. The size difference between each click is about 20 microns. Another good thing is that you operate within one revolution, so you won't get confused where you are. For espresso, I'm usually on the setting around number 2. Inside this grinder, you will find those 48mm heptagonal burrs. Now, MC5, Kafatek monolith conical grinder, well, it's a completely different beast. I mean, it's huge, especially when you compare it with the hand grinder. It weighs around 12.7 kg, made out of metal. Most of the parts are hand assembled in USA. Longevity of every component it's mind-blowing. The engine is an AC engine. Right now there is a new version, MC6, with the DC engine and regulated RPM. Has 71mm Shuriken burrs, so there are burrs made by Kafatek for Kafatek. You won't find them anywhere else. They can grind for like 800 kg of coffee before you need to replace them. But the 71mm burrs are not the only burrs that you find in this grinder. There is like a pancake of burrs. So you have a top burr that crushes the beans into smaller chunks and then feeds them evenly into the main grinding chamber. What it does is that slow, even feeding of the beans into the main burrs. That should help with reducing fines, more even particle distributions, and obviously better coffee. And yes, it does make coffee taste better, which is a great thing. Sometimes it can be annoying. I will talk about it when we do a taste test. So now let's talk about the workflow here. Well, kind of obvious that a hand grinder will take a bit longer to grind than the electric grinder. On average, on espresso setting, it takes 45 seconds to grind 18 grams of coffee on K Ultra, and the retention here is pretty much always 0. And also the shape of the grinder, the shape of that knob, it makes the process, well, I wouldn't say pleasant, but not as tiresome as with other hand grinders. With MC5 it's a straightforward process. I like to do a hot start. I drop the beans in. It takes about 16-ish seconds to grind for espresso, and the retention without the blower plus possibly 0.2 grams. With the blower you can get pretty much to near 0. You may notice that I have a custom made bellow for this grinder. Normally it comes with something like so. If you are a Kafatek owner and you would like to buy this kind of bellow, you can find Chris on a Kafatek forum. Apart from the size, the biggest difference here is the price of those two grinders. K Ultra cost about 230 to 150 £150. I will put my affiliate links in the description for Amazon. If you want to support the channel, you can find this grinder there. MC5, on the other hand, well, it's a bit more expensive, let's put it this way. So the question is, if you pay so much more, how much better the espresso will be? Well, we're going to see. To avoid any biased tendencies, we're going to do the blind tasting again. So 2 cups. I know it's not a perfect solution. Underneath each cup there is a number. Number 1 is for K Ultra and number 2 is for MC5. MC5. As always, I'm going to use La Marzocco Liva style profile on Decent. We're going to use this coffee from Assembly Coffee Roasters, my local roastery in Brixton. This is a naturally processed coffee from Ethiopia with the flavor notes of jasmine, berries and juicy. Well, let's do it! This shot, like kind of a lively, juicy, there's some sweetness, sourness hit you first. Body slightly thinner than the other one, but not thin. Very bright, interesting shot. Now, this one, more balanced. There is more of the harmony. Body slightly thicker. There is a sourness there, but it's not a first sound that you're going to hear when you drink this coffee. And also, I can notice like a candy flavor likes in the background. The flavors are developing slower in this shot. In the first one is that bang, sourness, juiciness, sweetness. Here they start quietly, but there is more of the depth of the flavors. Now, both shots are great, and with this coffee, that juiciness in the first shot really works. Difficult to say which one is better here. Often I would go for the first one because of that vibrancy. This is the shot that you sit down, take sip after sip and enjoy and think about the flavor notes, and then you're going to discover more in this one than in the previous one. So let's reveal this one. I'm not calling a winner or loser here. Let's have a look. That's MC5. When I took a sip from this cup, that should be number one here, I thought, wow, that's nice, lively, vibrant juiciness. That has to be the winner. This coffee works perfectly with this grinder because what I've noticed, not just today, but with the previous attempts, previous shots, I've noticed that K Ultra magnifies the sourness in the coffee. And if you get that kind of coffee like I have today, kind of a light medium roasted, K Ultra can make wonders with this coffee. I tried this coffee yesterday with my bean seeker with K Ultra and it was so nice. Now the MC5, the flavors more refined, slightly more sophisticated, which works with certain types of coffee. With this lively coffee, it feels like if it was restraining that coffee. But because of that refined character, it allows you to develop some flavor notes that you wouldn't normally find. So it's a very interesting experience if you concentrate on your coffee. Okay, so surprising results for espresso. We will come back to that in my final conclusions. But now we have to do a pour over as well. Now the workflow here will be slightly different. With a K Ultra, very simple, you work within one revolution. I'm usually in around number 5 or 6. With MC5, slightly trickier because this grinder is espresso oriented. You don't really get a scale beyond the espresso range. In fact, even for espresso, I almost always go beyond the scale. You get that sticker, I have that black sticker attached, and a good starting point for pour over is to go 180 degrees from where you were for espresso. So if you like to do pour over often, you may as well attach a different sticker with different color. New MC6 comes with the better grind indicator. You can or you will be able to buy it separately soon. We're going to use this, so that's the Timer Crystal Eye, and coffee. Like if my life was not difficult enough, I will use coffee that I haven't even opened yet. That's the coffee from St. Martin's Coffee Roaster, coffee from Colombia with the flavor notes of blueberry, chocolate and pineapple. Well, let's pour it. I've been tasting and testing. They are slightly different. Here in this cup, the sourness is the dominant flavor. And it works. I like sour flavors in my pour over. But what's missing here is the rest of the flavor notes. In this cup, there is more of the depth of the flavors. There is a sourness, not as intense as in this cup, but I can also detect something else. Difficult to say precisely what. While here, this is a fresh, crisp cup, but not much more beyond that initial sour, juicy flavors. I think I will go for this cup. Curious to find out which is which. So, the cup that won today's pour over challenge is... No way! It's MC5, guys. I was expecting completely different results here. Let me collect my thoughts now and then I will give you my final conclusions. So guys, here we have it. My goodness. If you are still here, definitely click like and consider subscribing to the channel. That's what we do here. We are playing, we are having fun with coffee. At first I was reluctant to record this video. Why? Because I thought I know the results. I thought it will be obvious, and once again I was proven wrong. I know I sometimes exaggerate my emotions for comical effect, but here I'm genuinely surprised with the results. I was expecting MC5 to be hands down much better for espresso. What happened here, it was much closer. There were differences there, but I had to look deep. K Ultra gave me that nice fruity juicy sourness, and if you are looking for a grinder that offers you that, especially a hand grinder, go for K Ultra. MC5 takes away certain flavor notes from both ends of the spectrum, so it reduces the bitterness, which is great, but it also is muting those kind of a fruity sour notes. And often those are the notes that I'm looking for in my espresso. I drink that light medium roast coffee and I want that sharpness, and that's what's missing from MC5. So great grinder because it makes coffee taste better. That's what you would expect from a high-end grinder, but sometimes it takes away what's enjoyable, that lively, that kick from the coffee. With K Ultra you get that punch of sourness. Not always good with every coffee, especially if you like more chocolatey notes. For the pour-over, I was expecting that K Ultra to be an obvious winner here. And yes, it delivered that increased level of sourness that I know from this grinder, but the notes were kind of on a flat side, so not much more beyond that lively, juicy sourness. While that MC5 surprised me so much, because I don't use it for a pour-over. On top of nice sourness, not that obvious sourness, there were other notes. So which one to choose? This one still probably is the obvious choice because of that huge price gap. The difference in a taste and the difference in a price, they do not correspond with each other. What this test proved is that this is probably one of the best hand grinders you can get, especially if you like a lively, vibrant coffee. You get extra from MC5 if you are interested in chasing nuances in coffee, discovering new flavor notes. MC5 might be the grinder for you. In the comments, please share with us which do you think is the best hand grinder for espresso and pour over, and which do you think is the best electric grinder for espresso and the pour over. Let's have a nice discussion there in the comments. But for today, thank you very much for watching. My name is Jack, this is my coffee show, and hopefully I will see you soon. Thank you, bye!